Ah, dang, I forgot to put your name in there.
Oh, well. That's nobody. Hey, there you go. I was going to say,
there we go.
Screen. Oh, it may look like a toothpick. Jeez. Me right now.
Yep. And let's see what we got here. All righty. So, I don't see anybody out there. I can't see my other screen yet.
I don't show anybody else on there yet.
All right. We'll see how many people might pick it up. But anybody out there, please post the chat saying, hey, I'm here. And that way we can get this thing started and we can start answering some of the questions I've been getting from.
Got us up to 3 now. Need 2 more people so I can.
Okay, cool. Well, all right. So tonight we're going to be talking about all the volcanoes that have been popping off in the last 4 days. And as evident, there's been some concern with people out there. I've been getting emails and messages on my other videos asking about them. And so I'm going to start off here with the first one here. Let me bring that up on the side here. And we'll go here. So back on Thursday, Mexico's, and I cannot pronounce this, Popos, or can't even pronounce it. Anyways, it's a volcano that is only 43 miles from Mexico City. And it popped off. And when it went off, there was, it was throwing some rocks, 3,000 feet into the sky. No one was hurt. No evacuations going on. So, and the last time Mexico had an eruption was in 1952, it says here, but I don't think that's right. I thought they had one more recent than that. But yeah, so yeah, this one has, was started the whole shebang off. All right, and then Japan. Japan had a volcano go off on the southwestern part of the main island. No immediate reports of injuries. Rocks were thrown about only 300 meters from the crater of Mount Shintake on the, I can't pronounce it, island. Basically, so we had that one there. I didn't even see that. I had to go really searching for this one. Someone else had said they'd heard about it. There's this little island off the side there has 100 people as registered residents on the 36 square mile island, or 36 square kilometer island. It is the first eruption on the island since February last year, so about a year ago. But they're not reporting any injuries or anything else. So, I'm saying that one there is pretty much a as well. Then we hit the Philippines. Now I'm going to run a little video here for you, and hopefully it works right. So let me start this thing off here.
Might want to go full screen with it.
I will. Look at that full screen over there. There we go. And then go full.
Some of them light little blue lines you're seeing are what they call sprites.
Yeah. So.
And seeing as how I'm going to have to run upstairs in a moment to help my kids say his bedtime prayers. over in our
Hang
private
on, hang
chat.
on, hang on. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kill that one. Yeah, and the so bring this, come out over here. There we go. Boom. Yeah.
All right. Over in our private chat, I put a link to the USGS volcano alert, just in case I don't get back, or volcanoes thing, just in case I don't get back down here before you get to that part, because I got to go
All right.
to bed.
Okay. So and let me go ahead and pull that up on a separate little window here while we get ready. So as you can see, there was some interesting things going on over there in Manila. The airport was shut down 15 hours ago. It opened up. Okay, got that one there. It goes over there. So the airport, let me bring this back up here. So this is all I could find on the airport, folks. The all was shutting down a day ago, 22 hours ago. But 15 hours ago, the airport was partially reopened, which means they're limiting it to certain size planes that are safer in those type of conditions to operate. So the airport over there currently, is partially opened and will probably be, reopened hopefully in the next day or two fully as things settle down. But let me bring up a CNN grabbed a bunch of videos people have been posting. So I'm going to show you something here. It's really interesting. And yeah, there we go. Yeah. So there's the dust already settling in Manila and surrounding areas. Look at that dust blowing across the island. Now, the volcano itself is in a caldera that has been filled with water. So it's like an island in the middle of the lake in an island. Yeah, look at all that dust, people just kicking around, walking, not realizing how bad that they get silicosis from that. Okay, let me go ahead and drop. Hang on, I got a kill this other thing there. Okay. Now, come on, there we go. So yeah, the other news agency, I'm looking over at a side screen here where I got all the stuff on here, is talking about it. So it blasted pebbles 6 to 9 miles into the sky. And but luckily there at the time that this, I got these reports out, which was Saturday, no, so a Sunday evening afternoon, that no reports of injuries or damage, but authorities scrambled to evacuate more than 6,000 villagers from an island in the middle of the lake where the volcano lies. 10,000 more from nearby coastal towns were evacuated as well. All right, tens of thousands have already been evacuated. And one of the reports I was reading was saying that they are considering evacuating the city of Manila. Now, how accurate that report is, I'm not sure, but it's on one of the things I Googled and found on it. So yeah, so the volcano itself is 37 miles south of Manila. I would imagine the main reason why they would be evacuating Manila would have been due to the ash. Yeah, and in the side chat there, yeah. CR, yeah, it does more. It does, the ash isn't really ash like from a fireplace. It is like more like cement dust. It's very grainy, very sharp, and yeah, and it does turn to a cement-like product when mixed with moisture, and has the chance, not too much moisture. If you get a lot of moisture, it won't solidify. It takes a while, but it does still produce a little bit of heat in the chemical reaction with water. Okay, and what do we got here? I'm going to check the site and see if anybody has anything else on it. Yeah, it's like it's like glass particles with an eruption. So yeah, they're very sharp. They're not the type of stuff you put in there. Ah, here we go. Bob, the metal guy, would you like to come up here and join us on the panel? Just give me a thumb. Actually, what I'll do is I will put a post here, post in the chat, the link. You can click on the link if you have your camera and an earpiece set up where you could join us anytime you want. You can come up here and join us. I know you were just in the Philippines before New Year's, you spent Christmas there. So we'd love to have you up here if you care to come up here. You probably have a little bit better handle on it with relatives over there. And so, yeah. Yeah, just as you go through, it's a step-by-step process to follow it to come up here on StreamYard. All right. Yeah. I thought I had another good little shot here of, I think I may have accidentally closed out the wrong one. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, this is going to be, enlarge that one there, and go to this screen over here for a second. And let me go up here and bring that down and start this one here off. This is someone's cell phone video. Okay, yeah, it's a little short video clip there of what they caught of one of the flashes going off. Now you notice that that lightning was heading from the ground up. Let me see if I just see, it's going from the ground. It's going from the ground up here. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's the end of that story. So let me go back over here. But yeah, here we go. Story. So go back over here. Hey, Bob.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we need to do is mute your YouTube tab.
Everyone.
Yeah. So what we need to do is mute your YouTube tab. Okay. So let's get a second here to catch on. All right, Bob, can you hear me?
You're big.
Oh, good. It sounds like we got rid of the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So what can you share with us about what you've heard from your relatives over there?
Well, my relatives live in Davao, which is down in Mindanao, in the southern part of the country. And I just posted a video today on my YouTube channel. Also posted it on my Facebook channel to start getting some bug out bags for my family down in Davao, because one of the videos I posted over Christmas was earthquakes, and I interviewed two of my nieces, and Mount Apo is right by Davao, right next to it, and it's doing exactly the same thing as Mount St. Helens did in 1980 before it exploded. Heavy earthquakes and all that. But my family so far is out of the line of fire for Mount Taal, but there is a looming threat of Mount Apo right in their backyard.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Let me check something out here real quick. Let me see if I can pull up your video I was watching here. Here we go. Boom, boom, pull this up. And I want to get the link. I'm going to put the link for it here in the chat. Okay. So everyone, there's that link I just put in there. That is for Bob's video on the situation over there in the Philippines. So when you get done here, please go over and take a look at it. And if you haven't subscribed to Bob, he's got a real cool channel, some good information and stuff. So check his channel out as well. Yeah. So the one that you were saying, there's the volcano down near. I always mispronounce the foreign words. Davao.
Well, yeah, Davao.
Davao. So the concern now is that one may also erupt.
Yes, because one of my videos, you'll see my two nieces side by side, and I think the video's name was earthquake, Davao earthquake eyewitnesses. And my two nieces have been said that they've had heavy earthquakes since the month of October. And Mount Apo is right by their home. And like I said earlier, it's doing exactly the same thing that Mount St. Helens did before it erupted in 1980.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and the thing is, so for people here in the United States as well, don't realize how many volcanoes we have in the United States. Do you know how many volcanoes are in the Philippines?
No, I don't have a number offhand, but there's, Taal, Pinatubo, Apo, and there might be one or two others that are still active or just slightly dormant. But it's part of the Pacific Rim of Fire. Like
Oh, yeah.
I live in Washington. I live in Washington State, right on the coast. So
yeah. So you were up there then when Mount St. Helens went off.
Yes, I remember that very well. I remember it very well.
How were you affected up there by Mount St. Helens?
We here were not affected by the ash directly, but what happened to my area was transportation was shut down for quite a while going across the Cascade Mountains. So the first thing that disappeared off of the store shelves, even by us who were not directly affected, were these dust masks. Those disappeared immediately, instantly. They were all gone, but it was a slow progression because the ash fallout that covered eastern Washington shut down all the mountain passes, and it also shut down for a while Interstate 5 that was on the west side of the Cascades. So that delayed food transportation back and forth across the mountains, fuel, air traffic, of course, that was shut down for a short period of time. But one thing that people don't consider when you're talking about ash fallout is what it did in the eastern Washington was it shut down the sewer systems and the storm drains.
Wow.
Because let's say you're covered in ash, you just got done walking through it, and you want to wash your clothes. Now you wash your clothes and it destroys your washing machine because it turns into concrete. And all that ash, everyone's washing machines goes into the sewers. And the sewers were completely plugged up with ash. In Yakima, many of the cities in eastern Washington were devastated because of the sewer systems, the storm drains, etc., were just destroyed. And it took years for that stuff to be dug up and replaced.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Years and years ago, I used to work for a construction company doing underground construction, and replacing sewer lines and stuff is not a quick task. And you get stuff building, like, if it turns, the ash, when it mixes with water, starts a chemical reaction. When it dries out, it turns into like a concrete product. So that would just totally take out sewer lines. Wow. Okay, we got some of my people guessing in the sidelines, in the side chat here, how many volcanoes there are in the United States. No one's even close. You're way, way, way low.
Actually, they're talking about the Philippines, I do believe.
Oh, in the Philippines?
I do believe so, yes.
Okay, if those are Philippines, then you're probably, got saying 40 here, and then a 13 inactive. So that could be for the Philippines, but for the United States, let me see if I can bring this up here. I'm going to shut this off to the side for a second and bring up this other screen. There we go. How many active volcanoes are there in the United States? According to USGS, there are about 169 in the United States that scientists consider active. Most of these are in Alaska, where eruptions occur virtually every year. Others are located throughout the West and in Hawaii. And they also have, and I'm going to pop this open in the new tab there so it comes up. But there's a U.S. current U.S. volcanoes current activity map, USGS, and I think that's what.
That's the one I sent you, I do believe.
Yep. Yeah, that's this one here. Now, is that the same one I pulled up? No, yeah, okay, it's the same one I just pulled up on the other one. So yeah, we both got it from different. Yeah. So yeah, so these are all the. And there's the color codes up here. Is green is normal, yellow is advisory, with the eyeball is a watch, and the red is that. But so up here on the Aleutian Islands, there's a couple of yellows, and there's one that's been elevated to a watch, and of course there's yellow down there in Hawaii as well. But all of these volcanoes along here, and then of course this lone one over here, that's Yellowstone. But you got the different. And if you go over to this channel, and I will throw the link up there in just a second. These are all the different volcanoes: Lassen, Crater Lake, Three Sisters. It's just kind of hard to. Maybe I can zoom in on this one over here. Let me see if this will zoom in. Ah, yeah, it does. Good. I can zoom into the coast here. And so, yeah, Crater Lake, Newberry, Three Sisters, Mount Jefferson, Mount Hood, Cascade Range, Mount Adams, Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier, Glacier Peak. Okay, I know there's Clear Lake, Volcanic, Mount Shasta. Yeah. So let me go ahead and grab this link here real quick and throw it in here. Now, everybody, if you guys want to save this and go look at it later, there you go. And let me take this back and bring us back up. There we are back. Okay.
Did you catch Will's comment? said, sorry, Gil, I'm sick.
Okay. All right, real quick then. Will, are you going to do your live tonight? So that's supposed to start in an hour. Oh, here, all right. Here comes one that most people don't know about. The Long Valley Caldera, and it is a caldera, is in the north end of Death Valley, and it is really nasty. Let's see. Out here. Yeah. And as listed here, they're in order of their most destructiveness. Yellowstone is not the most destructive supervolcano. So actually it's Long Valley. The Long Valley one is the most destructive one. And give me a second here. If you guys want to come up with something there, talk, give more information out while I look this up. I'm going to look something up and bring up something for you here. Or keep up with the chat and talk with the chat here while I type this up.
Yeah. One thing
Well,
I can definitely say about the volcano in the Philippines right now is my respect and admiration for the Filipino people. They are the most adaptable, self-reliant, self-sufficient people I've ever seen. They weather through typhoons, volcanoes, and they just keep going. They are resourceful with the most minimal amount of any assistance at all or tools, etc. And they also, one thing is a very deep part of their culture is helping each other. Neighbors don't let neighbors go hungry or go, these people they'll stride right through this volcano, and I think in some cases better than we would here in the US. In some cases.
they're not accustomed to having everything literally delivered to them. They have to go out and work for it. They got to work their fields for the food. They know how to turn that field over so they can start planting in it a lot quicker than anybody here could.
Yeah.
And Will did answer you, Gil.
And what he said,
hold on.
I'm going to open it, then let you run it if that's okay. All right. Okay. Learn to survive. So, the 169 ones they know about. Here's a friend who's a volcanologist, college professor, who states there are probably thousands of undergrounds they don't know about. So there are probably little bubble things that haven't, come to the surface yet. That's what I'm guessing he was meaning by that.
What some people also don't know or have never been taught is that just because you see a volcano, look at we'll use Yellowstone because it's the easiest one to show. But if you look at where Yellowstone has popped up through the crust, it's actually in 3 different places. It shows that the Earth crust has moved.
Right.
So a lot of them inactive volcanoes that are over here are actually now way over here, and they don't know they're even there yet until they actually pop off. That's why there's a lot of underwater volcanic activity, like especially around Japan, because as the crust moves and is displaced, it pops up new vents all the time.
So here's where Yellowstone is right now. Right over here by Twin Falls is where it was one of the other spots that had popped up, because there's a big section of the mountain range missing, and there's a massive lava flows here. And then somewhere down around over in here is another one. So yeah, it's as the Earth moves, the hot spot has been moving that way. So I'm going to blow this up a little bit better. Okay, so this line here is the ash fall from it's the Mesa Falls ash bed, and that's from Yellowstone's last eruption. The Long Valley Caldera, these are the 2 or 3 ash beds here from it. As you can see, it threw out a lot more ash than Yellowstone did. And the Long Valley Caldera's last eruption was a very, very small one a couple hundred years ago. So let me get back over to the right page. Here we go. And boom. So yeah. And that, that map, if anybody wants to look at it, just Google Yellowstone ash map. And that's what comes up.
The second star, when I was making my comment about, I'm sure Bob will reiterate the same thing I'm fixing to say. We weren't saying that the U.S. doesn't help. What we were saying is the fact that those people are more accustomed because they've dealt with it a lot longer. They're more adapted to the change. If they get 2 inches or 8 inches of ash, they know right now what they're going to do as it's falling. They're not sitting there scratching their head. Is YouTube working? Is Google working? They already know. They're taught as kids how to deal with that ash. If we had an explosion right now, if say Yellowstone or something real close to us popped off, covered the U.S. in ash, how many people right this very second know exactly what to do to start planning again as quickly as possible? I'm going to hazard a guess and say less than 0.01% of the U.S. population can. That's just a thought, but
right,
they're more adapted to it because they deal with it. I'm not saying the U.S. wouldn't help. Of course, the U.S. would help. They'd send people over immediately and then take lessons from those people on the ground as to what to do and how to do it as quickly as possible. That's all I was trying to say.
Right. Okay. Let me bring up. I just found something else here to shows a couple other of the ones here. So this is the Mount St. Helens ash flow. It reached all the way over to Yellowstone. And then you got Crater Lake here, and this, and we got get on the right screen. Okay, so this is the dark orange here, almost reddish colored is Mount St. Helens. This other orange one here is the Crater Lake ash field called Mesma ash. Yeah. And like, down here, this actually identifies these as the Long Valley ones down here. But yeah. So if a major, Mount St. Helens compared to Long Valley and Yellowstone it's just a regular volcano. If I'm not being too simplistic on it here, you guys jump in if you think I am. Compared to the others, everyone's so worried about Yellowstone going off and everything taking us out, but Mount St. Helens did a lot, covered a lot of area with ash.
Yeah.
And, people have been worried for years about Shasta and Rainier going up too. So, and if this, I don't know if this is really an uptick in volcanic activity. What do you guys think?
I don't see it as an uptick personally, not here in the U.S.
I mean,
the rumblings we've had in Yellowstone and along California, Washington, or coastlines that are near these volcanoes are same stuff we see year in and year out. The only time we hear about it is if Yellowstone happens to swell up someplace and then the whole world goes into end of the world routine. Something that's not mentioned on this map, it only shows little teeny areas.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in the middle of Michigan back when St. Helens went off. And where I lived, which was on a lake, we had a layer of ash on that lake. It was small and thin, but we had a layer of ash on that lake. We had ash spread all the way to Michigan.
Right.
So don't look at these maps and say, well, I'm perfectly safe where I'm at, because guess what? If Yellowstone even pops off half of what it's capable of, that ash will circumvent the entire globe.
Yeah. These ash markings are these boundaries here are where it was accumulated in, I'm not sure, I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart. Sorry, guys. Of a certain thickness on the ground.
Okay, I understand what you mean there, second star. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got a message on Facebook from my niece that lives in Davao about she lives well away from the current volcano, but she said that the Philippine government has been monitoring Mount Apo for a long time, and they're claiming that their recent earthquakes are not due to volcanic activity, but due to tectonic plate shifting. But they also told the population to be ready, you know, for an eruption at any time, which is good advice. But yeah, I'm gonna make a series of videos for them, and I'll reference other preppers videos, send them to my family overseas. And I already let them know today that if they need any assistance in that, let me know. I can Western Union some money over to them to get whatever they need. But,
Right. Okay, I'm going to bring up another map here. This is the USGS Earthquake Map showing the Philippines. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Davao is down here. Does that look
yeah,
right?
a little more to your right. Right about there, yeah, right in
Right
there.
over here. Okay.
Yeah.
And then right here
Right, correct.
is where the earthquake is, where the volcano is right now.
That's
and then
correct.
Manila is right up here. So you
Mhm.
only got 37 miles separating them here.
Uh-huh.
So that, you know, folks, you can see, if you look at this, there's volcanoes on each one of these islands, isn't there?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like
lots of them.
it's like the Wine
They're
Islands.
everywhere. I mean, the
Yeah.
whole country is really a series of mountaintops, really. You know.
Yeah. And those that are wondering what these red lines are, those red lines are earthquake. I mean, those are the fault zones.
Mhm.
And we back it out here, as you can see it. And now we're getting down into Indonesia and Australia. And so I'm going to move it over here. This red line here, as you can see it go around here, that's the Ring of Fire.
Yeah,
On the focal point, if I remember correctly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where I live
And
in Seattle is
yeah.
on that same Ring of Fire, and yeah. As far as like any type of air transportation in the Philippines, Manila has got a international airport, and I know it's been affected a bit, but they also have another international airport in Cebu and in Davao as well.
Okay.
So they can always divert, you know. So air transportation won't be affected too much, but there will be ground transportation in the Manila area because that ash destroys any engine, any diesel, gas, anything.
Yeah.
And here in Washington State on the east side of the mountains in 1980, some of the police had to get a hold of some good innovative mechanics, and they put like a water cooler on the hood of their cars and the ambulances to filter the ash before it went into the police engines, you know.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the big concern, you know.
Yeah, they were using a lot of different things. One of the things I heard they were using construction equipment, what are called dust bowls. That you see on top of the big bulldozers that are down and just stirring up a ton of dust. They had those up on top there, running the big, huge Caterpillar filters, which is the same ones they use on some of the semis and stuff. And there's a filter, there's an outer filter, there's an inner filter, and the dust bowl. And so they were using that type of setup to try to filter out all that. And they were having to empty out those dust bowls every half hour because it was collecting that much debris.
Yeah, that's correct. Eastern Washington in 1980 was paralyzed for months, just the transportation, until the rains came and started washing the roads off, and then came the sewers getting more and more plugged up, and the storm. But yeah, there's a lot to consider with a volcano. I understand that a volcano is the most destructive force on the earth. And I can agree with it, just living through it here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what they said the Mount St. Helens explosion was in comparison to the Hiroshima bombs. How many bombs it would have taken to make that explosion.
Mhm.
And it
Wasn't very many really,
like,
comparatively.
comparatively, I think they sent like 25 nuclear bombs. I mean, not atomic. Sorry, get the right wording here.
Yeah.
The Hiroshima, like 25 Hiroshima bombs to do that.
And now they say if Yellowstone goes off completely, that's 2,500 times the size of Mount St. Helens.
Yeah. Okay. One other question here. I just had it and I just lost it again. I'm getting old. Sorry, folks. Brain damage from having worked for the government for so long. Got this. Oh, back to this other map here real quick here. When I showed the other one showing the volcanoes, this orange dot here where there was an earthquake today, that's that one volcano that is on watch right now. It was listed as being on watch. So, it's on watch and they're having earthquakes there. So now I did not see any earthquake activity around that was registered around.
Go back to your chart. Go back 7 days. I think you're at what, 1 day on it?
I'm at 7 days. 7 days.
What's your lowest magnitude?
4.5.
Take it to 1 point. Take it to one and more.
There's 2.5, and that's all magnitude. Okay, now it's not going to like it. Okay. Hang on here. All right. Let me go back. Just lost it. Go back one more. There we go. Let me zoom in because that was too many for it to handle out there. And now I can go when I can zoom in here. And okay, so there it is. Let's go to all magnitudes. Continue anyways. And it's not showing you there. Let me try just in case it's too much. Yeah, it's not showing it's showing the earthquakes down here, but it's not showing anything on all magnitudes for 7 days or 1 day. Yeah.
It may not be able to show it because it may not, there may be too much, but
yeah,
every volcano I've ever seen has had some kind of earthquake activity surrounding it.
Yeah.
They even shake once they go off, so there should be something there.
I mean, yeah, because even this one down here, that is a 5.1, and even at a 2 point, filtering it to 2.5, so I'm getting these others here at 4.6, 4.5, 4.9. I'm not getting anything up around here, and I should. I thought there would have been at least a 4.2 earthquake with that going off.
Well, they may be hiding that information too. It's not the first time the USGS has hidden information concerning said things.
Yeah.
Because
Anyways,
even the people on the ground will tell you there's been earthquakes. So
yeah. Or just maybe it's so much there it would overload it trying to bring it all up.
Because Mount St. Helens had, I don't remember the exact number, but there were several hundred in the weeks leading up to Mount St. Helens going off. And they ranged everywhere from a 1.0 to a 6.
Yeah.
And the 6 was just before it finally decided to avalanche and cave away.
Right.
Yeah, that's what concerns me about Mount Apo right by my family's home is, like I said, for the last few months, they've had some pretty substantial earthquakes there. And Mount Apo is an active volcano. They have a geothermal power generating plant on Mount Apo. So they siphon off some of the steam that comes off there to generate electricity. So I'll be working closely with my family down there and sharing YouTube videos and any advice I can give for them, because I've been prepping for years, just like many people. And I urged my niece just now to make her own YouTube account so that she can leave comments for other preppers, ask questions, etc. Because I know that most of the people in the prepping community here on YouTube are always very happy to answer questions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just remembered the other thing. Old school prepper. Martha was telling me that where she was in Washington, they were taking rolls of toilet paper and putting them into their filters on their cars to filter, to try to filter out some of the ash and stuff.
Pantyhose and various other things as well.
Yeah, they were trying anything, and along with the stoppage of transportation and food and water, but also its financial impact. Suddenly, you can't get to work.
Oh,
period.
Yeah.
Now what are you going to do? You don't have a paycheck coming up. That's one thing that a lot of people don't consider. Your financial part, food and water, etc. And the sewers, the storm drains, all that. And your kids aren't going to be able to go to school too. That's another thing to look into or keep in mind.
Or go to the grocery store to get food because the grocery store has run out of everything.
Right. Exactly.
Because that reminds me. Reminds me of what happened back in 1971 for the Silmar earthquake when I lived down in Southern California. The first thing that disappeared off the store shelves, toilet paper. Second thing that disappeared off the store shelves was bread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And batteries and flashlights and all kinds of things. Yeah. When St Helens hit, even in the unaffected areas, the first thing that went off the shelves was dust masks. These paper dust masks. They disappeared.
Yeah, and if anybody's wondering about stuff to put into their preps for not just volcanoes but any type of dust-related storm, those paper masks are fine, and they're disposable. They're disposable. You get a let me see if I can put that up. How do I get I remember. Let me put you up there. There.
This is replaceable. This has a replaceable mask to go with it, and this uses the M95 and the M100 can be put inside this. So it gives you a double layer of protection. It gives you the outer mesh filter as well as the regular filter.
Yeah. I don't have any up here. They're downstairs in the basement. I forgot to bring it up, but I have the Noth respirator masks they use for hazmat and stuff, and they got the screw on and off filters, and they got like 20 different type of filters used. They even have the filters, and I got some of them to take care of this hydrogen sulfide and some of the other gases like that. It's got all the big charcoal filters and all the other stuff on it. And then they also have the layers on it, the little disposable pads about a 1/4 inch thick of the HEPA filters that go on over. It has a little retaining ring on it. So you have a HEPA filter on it, which is disposable. You just throw it out and throw another one on. But those are on Amazon. You can get those at you can order them through Home Depot, Lowe's. I just lost the name of the company I used to order all my stuff from. Granger. Granger stocks them and stuff, and our company used to get them from Granger all the time. Gas masks. Gas masks are a particle stopping. They really don't stop gas. That's a misnomer. So like it will not stop chlorine gas unless you change out and put a special filter on it, if those masks will accept that type of filter.
And Pennsylvania pepper, I honestly don't remember. I took it out of the box, it came in, which had the name on it. I got it off eBay. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Granger you can say they're super expensive and stuff, but with the North filters and stuff, they're comparable with everything else right now for those filters and everything. So yeah, but if you happen to have a Granger account, and sometimes when you buy more than just one, they start giving you a price discount on them. You buy several of them. So yeah, anything else? It's coming up on 7 o'clock here. So anything else either of you would like to pass on to the people in the chat?
Well, not too much, but my experience with a volcano, like I said, the long-term effect is something people don't consider. Like I mentioned, income. You can't get to work anymore. Sewer system, disease, because the sewers turn into concrete. Same with the storm drains. Transportation. If you are out there driving your car, even though you modify filters, it's gonna ruin your car. So that's part of the income thing. Those are things to prepare for if it's possible. It's difficult to prepare for everything, but those are things to keep in mind and consider.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that Steve from Corsair Trainers was going to be in here. And so, Bob, I don't know if you know Steve from Corsair Trainers. He did a 6-part tabletop exercise on the Yellowstone caldera erupting, and talked everything about the farmers in the Midwest, how people down in LA would be affected. It's a very good series for information that most people don't think about, how it's going to affect you, and the chain of events of one thing affecting another thing, And just because you are up in Maine, totally away from it and not getting any ash at all, you're still going to get affected.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are a global economy, and we are definitely a global market for food here in the United States.
Considering most of the ashfall would hit the breadbasket, literally.
Oh yeah.
It will affect every state. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, it would. It would clearly. Yeah.
Yeah, the organic vapor related filters, they're the same ones that cover the hydrogen sulfide and some of the other things. They're the yellow and purple filters for the Noth brand. Anything from the chat? You guys want any last minute words here to fire out here?
Well, like Brassard said, in major eruptions like Pinatubo, Krakatoa, they did create their own weather system. They erupted. It changed the world weather in those hemispheres.
Mm-hmm.
So what was normally summer turned into winter.
Yeah.
It stayed winter for a while.
Yeah, in Eastern Washington in May 18th, 1980, it was a day during the daytime when the mountain blew up, and it took a long time for that ash cloud to come east, and city to city to city, the sun was gone. There wasn't a real profound effect, but that's something else keep in your mind. You're used to going outside, walking around during the afternoon, and suddenly you need a flashlight.
And a dust mask.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I thank you guys for inviting me along with the chat here today. I appreciate being able to put a little bit of input.
Yeah, we appreciate your input. I watched a bunch of your videos there when you were over there in the Philippines. So, all right, guys, I'm going to throw one final link here into the. Nope, wrong one. Okay, come on. Let me grab Will's. Okay, so in half an hour at 7:30 Mountain, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Yeah, is the Monday night Preppers Roundtable discussion hosted by Just in Time Prepping. Those of you want to go over there, go to that. Tonight's, where is it here? Yeah, tonight's subject is, let's scroll back up the top page, prepper weapons that make sense. In other words, we're not going to be talking too much about full auto stuff tonight. We're talking about, slingshots, air rifles, muzzle loaders. We're going to be talking about stuff that makes sense for a prepper really to have in a Tawaki situation. All righty. So appreciate everyone stopping by. If you have a chance, go over and check out the Just in Time panel. Both Dave at SOP and myself are going to be on it, along with I believe Reed from Manifestations of Imagination. Hopefully Anthony from Palmetto Prepared will be there, and a few others. All righty. And with that,
a half hour.
Huh?
It was asked what time, and it said about a half hour.
Yeah, in a half an hour. So from East Coast, 9:30, 8:30, 7:30 Mountain, 6:30 Pacific time is when it's going to kick off.
Justina, it's the one that he just posted a link to right above you. 1, 2, 3 posts above your last one.
Yeah, so I put the link in there. There's the link again, and it's Just in Time Prepping. So yeah, and we do that every Monday night at this time. That's right, CR. CR comes in and gives us a bad time too.
Always.
Yeah, and we love it.
We love our Canuck friends.
Yeah.
He's trying. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay, Teresa. Good. It was good to have you in here listening. All righty. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill this now, and we will. I'll see you guys over there in 30 minutes.